You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show, the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We got a new caller. So we'll put it to the front of the line. How about that?
Hey, man, my name's Chris, a long-time listener,
Hey,
first-time
Chris.
caller. I just wanted to get everyone's take on why everyone's so upset that Jordan Love isn't allowed to develop, and why does he have to be a finished product and top-level quarterback right away, and just because two of the greatest that ever did it won early doesn't mean that this man is going to be a finished product in his second full year of starting. Yeah, I get it. He's been in the league 5 years. He's only been starting for 2. And we all know there's no replacement for game time. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I think that's certainly a fair assessment. Kind of just depends what we're talking about. I think first of all, I don't know. I mean, there's so many unique variables here. You know, he did sit for a very long time, so a lot of people want to say, well, this is year 4 or 5 or whatever for him. There's also just a lot of, like, everybody wants an answer, today. And that's true, really, of everybody. Lucas Van Ness is a complete bust, although, after a year and 2 games, dude was a bust. And then he started playing better, and we just don't talk about it anymore. But, I think that's a big part of it. I think there's also some weird stuff, too, where it's like, he blew up last year. And so it's like, okay, he's good. And then this year, it was as though he didn't know how to play football anymore. And it's like, well, he's got to develop. It's like, but he was already developed. I don't understand. Like, why? It's not like he needs to learn how to be good because he was already good. My question is, why was he good and he's not? Where did these interceptions come from? It's like, well, that's just his style. No, it's not. Did we all not watch last year? Is that what happened? So what are we talking about here? We're acting like this is his first year and he's just this poor little deer that was just born and he's getting his legs. And I just, whatever. Like, I don't. But again, that's maybe more of a weird circumstance, not necessarily any kind of a proof. And I still think it's fair to say, well, he's still developing. And maybe it was just, I don't know. I don't know why he was super elite and then just wasn't again and then is getting better again. But it would make a lot more sense if this was his first year playing. But it's his second year playing, and he went through this whole phase of going from not super good up to great and getting better over and over and over again. And so it's weird that we're just replaying that tape all over again, and it's like, well, he's growing. It's like, well, I don't get it. Like, is this going to happen next year too, or we have to wait until November 20th for him to start playing good again, or what? Like, what is happening? So it's I've said it before. Everybody's got their own career arc. Everybody's got their weird little. Some people start off hot and then they cool. Some guys are cool and then they get hot. Some guys, they don't pop off until like year 9 when they're 32 years old. It's the weirdest thing in the world. You got guys like Devondre Campbell, who's basically a nobody, comes here, blows up, gets a bunch of money, and then goes back to being a nobody again and then just blaming everybody else because he thought that 1 year was, whatever. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with Jordan. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to be. I know that he started getting better, and I know that he wore the Toyota-thon sweatshirt and then had his first bad game since the bye, in my opinion, and I was worried about that to begin with, and I would love it if we could just stop it. I know it was my plan. I know I'm the one that said Toyota's missing out, and they were. They should have capitalized on this. Good for Toyota. But I don't. Now I'm a little bit pissed. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much. I don't want to just automatically chalk it up to, well, he's learning. Well, I don't know that. The issues that he's having, I don't know why he's having them. Maybe it's learning. He's been there for a very long time under one system the entire time. And again, he showed out last year already, so that's a tough sell for me. but I guess I don't know that that isn't it. But, you know, at the same time, it needs to happen the rest of the year, right? We need Jordan to be a good quarterback in the postseason, and I need him to be a good quarterback to start next year. I do not want to do this 3-month bull crap where it's like, oh, he's just getting his footing. No, you don't get a 3-month buffer on this. I mean, I guess if you're only going to play well for about 2 months, I would rather it be, you know, December, January. But yeah, I mean, if it's learning, let's be learned by the end of this year and be ready to go for next year. Because as much as I'm happy that we've got this team that's built around the run game and the defense and all that stuff, I still am a firm believer that you need to have a really good quarterback. Right? There might be examples of times when that wasn't the case. I mean, Peyton Manning wasn't a great quarterback and had an elite, like mega elite defense that kind of carried him, and Flacco back in the day. But it is really hard to win a Super Bowl without a top-tier quarterback playing very consistently throughout the entirety of the playoffs. So if you have a wide-open Christian Watson for a touchdown, go ahead and throw that, okay? If you're throwing a screen pass, don't throw it 5 feet short. Throw it to him. It's a pretty short pass, not that hard to do. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that is the case, that there's just, he had to learn new stuff this year or something. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. We will see.
Ryan, what's up? Kyle from Madison, man.
What's up, dude?
Wow, what a game. I'll tell you what, Spencer Rattler, you're going to need to learn, bro. You can't throw at Zane Island, okay? He's got that locked down. I'm in such a good mood. This is absolutely incredible, man. They showed the aerial footage of Lambeau with 1:14 left in the game, and we're up 34-0. And there was not a single car on the road. Okay, 34-0, a minute to go.
Yep.
I understand they're, trying to pitch a shutout, so there's a little drama, but I'm sorry, but there's not another sports city in the world where you're going to see that. I don't think.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. I'm watching with my whole family, and we're looking for cars. We paused it. We're looking for cars. We can't even find a car moving on the road. You got 70 whatever thousand people in there. What a just unbelievable celebration of the Packers tonight. I hope everybody who got dinged up's all right. Sounds like they will be, but man, that's just crazy. That's just crazy. And to have, I just realized all 3 running backs scored, man.
Yep.
That is wild. That is freaking wild. I was just listening to Josh Jacobs after the game. He was talking to Scott Van Pelt, man. I don't know how you can't like that dude. I mean, just great attitude. And it was interesting how he was saying, like, when he got here, people weren't talking about making playoffs. Like, they knew they were making playoffs. They were talking about division and Super Bowl. And I love that. That's exactly right. We'll let the Lions hang the division banners and all that crap. But, I mean, it wasn't the perfect game. Seems like both quarterbacks were struggling to get a little bit of sauce on that. It looked like a couple underthrows, just some nitpicky stuff. But, I mean, I think they only punted twice, didn't they? I don't know. I'll have to look at it. But, I mean, my goodness. That's exactly what you want to do to that type of team. There's going to be all these naysayers. Oh, well, they didn't have anybody and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, exactly. And they did exactly what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Like I was told how.
Yeah, I was just seeing a video of Shannon Sharp essentially saying like that, like if you're a good team, this is what we expect. If I'm on that team and you're coming into my house and you're not a good team, we're going to make sure that everybody knows that you don't belong here. And that's what they did. And that's what I've been saying this whole time when it comes to the Seahawks. Demonstrate that you're a notch above them. And they did. If you're playing a bad team, demonstrate what good teams do to bad teams. And that's what they did. Saying that it doesn't count or discounting it is stupid. The question is, what do you expect? Like, what do you want the Packers to be? Okay, let's pretend that that's what they are. What do you expect that caliber of team, the one, not that you think that they are, the one that you want them to be, what would that team do to this team? And then if they do that, or better, then shut your mouth. sitting here, after it's just the Saints. Well, they had injuries. They had that. Not the question, dummy. Sorry, I should be nice on Christmas. That's not the question, sir.
Are great, and until we beat them, and then they're trash. And then when the Vikings get taken to the wire and beat them, of course the Vikings are just heroes coming back, right?
That's what a real team does.
They just took the Commanders to the wire last week, okay? So don't tell me they're nothing. I know they're hurt, but they're an NFL team. We just blanked them on the scoreboard for the first time for any team to do that this year.
Right, and first of all, is this the worst team in football? Because I don't think it is. And if it's not, then why hasn't 34-0 been happening all year? Because there's a lot of really, really bad teams. Well, they didn't have the quarterback. That's been happening a lot. The Lions and the Vikings played the Jaguars when Trevor Lawrence was out. So that's a really bad team that also didn't have their quarterback. Did they score 34-0? Is that what the final score was? If not, why not? Are they trash? Are they stupid? Do they suck? And the crazy thing is the Packers did do it, and some people still don't want to give them credit. They'll give teams credit for not doing that. They'll give the Vikings credit for being a real team when they're kind of struggling or coming down to being close against some of the more mediocre teams, the teams that we put away. But those teams are for real, and we're not. Why? Exactly.
So, just what a great celebration of the Green Bay Packers, and let's go Pack Go on to Minnesota. We'll chat this week, buddy. Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, and I want to say like this is the test, but every game has kind of been the test, and they've passed all the tests. This is another test. And look, they're going to stumble at some point. They're going to. They have exceeded expectations every week for several weeks now. At some point, they are going to potentially meet or possibly even under-exceed expectations. That's expected. You expect to not exceed expectations every week. And if you don't expect that, then you're being unrealistic and silly. So yeah, you would expect that those kinds of games are going to happen. Maybe this is one of those games, I don't know. But so far, they have stepped up to the plate, and they have exceeded expectations. Let me check and see where we're at, if they're still 1.5-point favorites. Nope. Packers are now 1-point favorites. I told you. And that was the thing I said that was super shocking, was going into the Saints game, there was almost nothing the Packers could do to move the line against the Minnesota Vikings. Almost nothing you could do. When you're 14-point favorites, if you win by 14, that doesn't move the line. You just met expectations, so the Vikings will still be favorites. You have to beat them so unbelievably convincingly in order for people to say Green Bay's better than we thought they were, and then move the line. Green Bay are now 1-point favorites against the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. Because, and here's the other thing, not everybody's been crunching the numbers quite so much. What happens is you got the line initially. People, I don't know, Vegas is not stupid. They've got some analytics or whatever. They set the line at a certain thing. And then the real bettors, they come in, they start putting money on certain bets, and they're like, oh, we got to switch it over here. They're seeing that during their sort of recalibration, the Packers are probably the slight favorites here. The wise guys, as they're called, which is so freaking lame. Bunch of math nerds who want to pretend that they're in the mafia, but okay. Anyways, I don't even remember the point I was making because I kind of got excited when I saw that it finally switched, which I thought it might. But if they win by 1 point, then they met expectations. If they lose by 2 or 3 points, then they fell slightly under expectations. If they win by 2 or more points, they exceeded expectations. We will begin to dig into that tomorrow. Got some pretty good news to report over there. But anyways, let's take a break. We'll come back and do some beer cheese Benny.
Good morning, Packernet Podcast.
What's going on, man?
What's up, Pack Daddy? Beer cheese Benny?
What's up?
Dude, I am sick, bro. Like, my nose is so stuffed up, dude. A little bit of a cough. And honestly, I kind of feel like crap, dude. But you know what makes it better?
What's up?
That victory, baby. That victory, baby. Victory Tuesday, baby.
Yeah, I got it.
Yes. We won. And I'm not complaining, dude. And I want to just go over a few things here.
Okay.
Chris Brooks, stupid. And remember when Rashawn Gary said that? He was like, stupid.
I do remember.
I'm going to just say that after everything I say here. All right, he got his first.
It is pretty funny. I think I've done that before. Same thing. Started calling people. It's just it is a fun thing to say. Plus, it's fun, as you know. I'm a fan of calling people stupid, but to be like, no, I mean it in a good way. Stupid. What? No, like the good thing, you know.
No touchdown. That.
Like when we used to say back in the day, that's fat, you know. Didn't mean like obese. You know, it was like that's fat, bro. You know.
It is amazing. Brandon McManus, stupid. Freaking 55-yarder, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's pretty stupid.
We haven't had a kicker that could do that in years.
He is.
And you know what's weird?
Stupid.
It's like he lines up for the kick every time, and I'm just like, okay, cool, we got 3 points on the board. And then he just freaking sinks it. I mean, that was a 55-yarder, but he nailed it, dude.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling great about that one. I mean, granted, you never feel good about a 55-yarder, but you know, it just part of it was he just hasn't missed, and I'm like, he's got to miss one sometime. And one of these days, he's just going to completely shank one. It's got to happen. It's coming sometime. This feels like a good time to do it. You know, everything's going real well in this game. And then, you know, the offense kind of stalled out a little bit. Again, by stalled out, what does that mean? Like they didn't score a touchdown for the first time in like 4 drives. So it stalled out a little bit, and now they need him to kick a field goal. It just makes sense for everything to kind of fall apart here. And this is, again, it's a great opportunity to, just get that miss in. It's got to happen sometime. Let's get it out now. And he kicked it, and you're like, I mean, that's kind of perfect, right? And you're waiting for it to like start to hook. It's not hooking. He's got a great. It's almost like he knows exactly where the camera is, and he's like, I want to make sure that this ball quickly goes dead center for the camera and just stays there so that everybody feels really comfortable and doesn't get nervous. And I appreciate that. Thank you for caring so much about us. But yeah, that thing just starts drifting right to the middle and then just stays right there. And I'm like, I mean, unless he just came up real short and this thing falls in front of the crossbar, I mean, it's good, right? Sure enough, just sailed right through. Okay. I guess that was easy. I don't know, man. He's I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking about it.
It was amazing. And I love it. Imagine, we'd only have maybe 1 loss, 2 losses right now if McManus was our kicker the entire year. So that freaking pisses me off that we could have just had him or somebody like him.
Yeah.
It would have been better.
Yeah, dude.
But I really hope Christian Watson's okay, dude. Need him out there, dude. It just really helps him stretch the field, get separation for other guys, too. And he's just been a difference maker this year, dude. But what I don't get is, why now? We're up like 21 or 24 to nothing, and they put him back out on the field. How stupid are you? Seriously. And then he gets visibly more actually hurt. Like, before he could just kind of walk it off, and then he kept playing. And then he was like laying on the sideline. Like, come on, dude. Yeah. That's bullcrap, bro. But, hey, man. You can only play who's in front of you. So, all the excuses from Bears, Lions, and Vikings fans, sorry, dude. Like, we have the only shutout.
And again, they can't say anything because they've mostly beat bad teams, just like we've mostly beat bad teams. Everybody has mostly beat bad teams because it's mostly bad teams in the NFL. That's just how it goes. There are only, 5 teams-ish that are rocking like double-digit wins and are like lock playoff teams or whatever. 8 teams. I don't know how many teams, but it's not that many. I mean, if we're saying Seattle is garbage, then we're basically saying everybody kind of just sucks and it's not a big deal.
Season, you don't. So
stupid.
You know, this Packers team is, I guess, just gonna have to keep proving us right or wrong. I guess the haters are wrong, and prove the Packer fans who think this is just wrong. But anyways, I'm gonna go, dude. I don't even think I can call anymore until this cold clears up. Go back up.
Well, I appreciate the call as always, Beer Cheese Benny, and I see that you're calling in pretty quickly after this, and then another time after that. So we'll be hearing plenty from Beer Cheese Benny. In the meantime, what's going on, Goose?
Hey, Ryan. Goose here.
I got to be honest. I don't know if you know this or not, Goose, but there's another guy on social media. His name is Goose, or goes by Goose, calls himself Goose, and I thought it was you. Like, I know what your avatar looks like, but I thought maybe it changed or something, and like he's one of the more negative fans, and he came at me pretty hard, and I was like, all right, dude, like, whatever, because I thought it was you, and you're super cool and laid back or whatever. And we usually agree on most stuff anyway, so I was like, all right, well, he's pretty passionate about this. It was an anti-LaFleur thing. I was like, okay, Goose, yeah, whatever. And so we start going down the road, and he is just getting super angry and pissy, and I'm like, bro, did I piss off Goose? Like, what is going on? And no, it turns out that that was not you. It's a different Goose. So that made me happy. I'm like, okay, it's just some other guy. It's like, dang, dude, I think Goose is mad at me or something.
I am just fuming.
Oh, see, he's mad.
Extremely upset. I can't believe the state of things. How is that acceptable? How do these people call themselves fans when they're complaining after a 34-0 win? It's time to call the herd. Maybe the Lions fans are right. Maybe they can say Packers fans are soft because we've been winning for so long. A bunch of our fans don't know how to be fans of a team that wins, let alone loses. Oh, we took our foot off the gas. We were up 24-0, and they didn't push harder and get people hurt more, and like there was a point to scoring more points. How dare you awful team? Oh, Jordan Love didn't play good enough. Well, he played good enough to get us up to 24-0.
Yeah.
He made some good, smart plays. Was he perfect throwing deep? Was he perfect? No. Stop expecting the Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers era from this team. This is a different team. Love can play like that, but that's not his natural state. I think what we're observing now is his natural state. He is a good quarterback who makes
Don't say game manager. I got in trouble for that.
Good decisions and has good control over this team. But this team is a total offense assault, not just Love making magic through the air. And these fans, they disgust me. I know I can be negative at times, even when we're winning. But how you come away from this victory with anything but, holy crap, we smoked them.
Yeah.
Like, what does another touchdown or two do? Does it beat them any more than we beat them? The Packers throttled them from the word go.
No.
The offense had their way with them, and the defense just smacked them around like they weren't even there. And yes, that's what they should do with a crap team like the Saints, with whoever it faces at the helm. But the point is they did it, and they did it at a level that is what elite teams do.
Yeah, I mean, don't be upset with a team that meets expectations, right? And obviously they didn't just meet expectations. They did much better than that. But the point is, you shouldn't be upset that they did what they were supposed to do. And then, to make matters worse, complaining that they could have done more. So what if they could have done more? Every team could have always done more almost every single game. I think there have been instances where teams have scored on every drive. I think that has happened, in which case, yes, you could probably say that that was a perfect game and there's nothing you can do. I mean, at least the offense, right? I mean, the defense probably gave up points. I don't know how many games there have been where you've got an offense that scored every drive and there's also a shutout. But look, I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with critiquing the team. There's nothing wrong with making observations. There's nothing wrong with any of this stuff. But, I mean, if you get to the point where you're just refusing to ever be happy or refusing to ever just accept a good performance. I don't know. I don't really know what to say. And I guess the only other thing I would say, because again, there are negatives, there are things that you could take away from this. Let's not focus on that, right? Like, well, it's true. I mean, X and Y and Z didn't do very well. I understand. What else is true? If we put together a list of all the things that we could say are true, why is it you're only mentioning the two negative things? Again, I mean, you want to talk about the fact that you're a realist, you're not negative, whatever. Okay, then give me a real, as in realist, list of the things that are true. Give me 10 things that are true. Because you could probably put together a list of 100, and I bet 90 of them are positive. And so it seems odd to me that, I mean, just again, statistically speaking, it doesn't necessarily feel to me as though it's very probable that you just happen to be mentioning these things as opposed to the positive things. Because, just statistically, if you were to grab one out of a hat, 9 times out of 10, you would say something positive, yet 100% of the time I see things that are negative from you. 90% sometimes. Occasionally, some of the negative people, I'll see some positive stuff, which I appreciate, right? They're throwing it out there, which is great. But, just mix it up a little bit. And that's why I said I'm not focusing on the negative today, because there's always going to be negative, just like there's always positive. By the way, it can be just as obnoxious when you have a terrible game and the positive fans come out and they find like a silver lining or make some excuses. And negative fans, you understand this because you get super annoyed with this, as do I. Here's the problem. You're exactly the same person, just from the other perspective. You're doing the exact same thing, but at least the positive fans are rooting for their team even in the bad times. You're rooting against your team even in the good times. It's not the same. It's not even really close to the same.
There are Beardy's been here. God, I feel like crap. Thank God for a victory, or I would feel even worse. Let's talk about Jordan Love. Okay. So, say what you want about his performance. He might not have played the best, but he got the chunk plays we needed. And really, he didn't need to do anything. Mm-hmm. The running game, we could do whatever we wanted. So, okay, yeah, like you can look at Jordan Love and be like, yeah, he didn't have his best game, or he didn't have a great game or whatever, but he didn't have to. We didn't need him to have a great game. That's just how the game plan went, and we were able to execute. It looks like we were able to do what we wanted to do. It was just attack with the running game, and then pass when we needed it to. And, dude, to be honest with you, man, Love got it done, son. Freaking, Jordan Love on that 3rd and 12 gets the pass that I think it was Jaden Reed. It was just a perfect throw, man. Like, Love is just doing everything he needs to do, and that's all we can ask of him. All we can ask is that he does everything that he needs to do with who we're playing and what the situation calls for to get it done and win. So, that's all I got to say. Go Pecco.
Yeah, I mean, and that is true. I mean, to some degree in all these games, you're going to be called upon to execute a thing. And I think Jordan did that. It wasn't his best game. It wasn't the cleanest game in the world, but when we needed him to come up, he did. And, like that non-throw to Christian Watson, that was freaking annoying. But it was a critical 4th down conversion, and he decided to play it safe, and he converted the 4th down, right? I mean, on one hand, it's like, do you trust your own arm? Yeah, probably for the most part. And by the way, it's a very un-Jordan Love thing to do. So you could borderline call that growth if you wanted to see a silver lining here. Could call that growth to look at that and say, rather than just being, gunslinger Jordan, you could, look at it as playing it smart. Let's live to fight another day. Let's convert this 4th down because look, it's possible that I overthrow him. It's possible I underthrow him. It's also possible that Christian drops the pass. And so let's go with the higher probability. I'm probably going to throw a better ball to a guy that has great hands in Tucker Kraft. I mean, Christian's been great this year as well, but it's an easier pass for me, so I'll probably throw a better ball, which is less likely to be dropped. And let's just live to fight another day. Battery just didn't see him. I don't know, but the point is, we needed a 4th down conversion, and we got it. We were 3 for 3 on 4th downs, by the way. So yeah, I mean, it's always a team effort. And did Jordan Love do his part? He did. He was not called upon very often, and when we needed him, he did what he needed to do to help contribute to a dominant performance. I do understand the sentiment of well, if that happens in the future. It's like I said before with the whole relationship thing or whatever. Stop projecting into the future. We'll see what happens in the future. You're never going to be happy if you look at the negatives and say, man, if that happens in the playoffs, if that happens later, yes, I understand that. But let tomorrow be tomorrow. Let today be today. Today, this is what Jordan Love was asked to do, and he clearly did well enough to help us get to where we needed to be. No, it's not going to be good enough in the playoffs. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. How do you know? We might be playing the Falcons in the playoffs, and maybe we shut out the Falcons. Jordan isn't going to be asked to do much. Maybe their run defense is garbage, and we're not going to need him very much in that game either. Maybe we play the Lions, and they can't stop our run game. I don't know. We don't know. Of course, you always want everybody to be playing their best, and of course, the quarterback is clearly the most important. You can get away with a wide receiver having a bad day much easier than the quarterback having a bad day. But again, let's just let tomorrow be tomorrow.
Good morning, Ryan.
What's up?
It's Victory Tuesday, and it's Christmas Eve. I'm out delivering packages this morning, and hope to get home to spend some time with family before I have to go patrol tomorrow afternoon on Christmas Day for the Sheriff's Department. But anywho, I just wanted to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
And just wanted to remind everybody to remember those less fortunate and maybe make a donation to Fertile Ground Ranch Ministry. It's something Ryan doesn't hit on very much anymore, but it's a ministry that his dad runs, and we really appreciate what he does for people, and we've actually even recommended somebody to him, and he reached out recently to my wife and had a really good conversation with her. And so, Ryan, we really appreciate what your dad does, and we're grateful that we're able to contribute to what he does and make people's Merry Christmas just a little bit more merry. So, Merry Christmas, Ryan. Merry Christmas to the Green Bay Packers. It was a great game last night. I'm in a great mood. There's not much to say other than go Pack, go. I'm out.
Well, I appreciate that, Garrett, and hope that you and your family have a great Merry Christmas as well. And I do appreciate the sentiments and the shout out to the ministry. You're absolutely right, and that was part of when I was making the Christmas episode or whatever. I don't know if maybe it was that, maybe it was this one. I don't remember anymore, but you want to jump on and be like, Merry Christmas is the greatest thing in the world. Everyone's happy and all that, and obviously some people don't celebrate, but even beyond that, I mean, this is also well known to be a very sad time of year for a lot of people, and a lot of people are struggling, and there's, it's life, man. It's life is freaking hard. It's really, really hard. And fortunately, we're all lucky enough to forget that a lot of the time because things are going well, and you can just not remember how hard stuff can be. But it is nice to be able to help people. We've done that quite a few times on the show when we can. People who have gone through some terrible tragedies have reached out, and we've been able to do what we can to help out. And it does feel good. It really does. I mean, I think it's helpful because, we've all had some hard times. And so when things are going well, financially or otherwise, it's nice to be able to give a little bit because we know what it's like, and we've been down there before and been scared before and all that stuff. And to be able to, help to offer some relief, when things are going well, and you remember the days when $100 was massive and life-changing, or $1,000 would be like, I can't even, like, I haven't had $1,000 in my bank account and I don't even remember how long. And, for some people, I mean, $1,000 is a decent chunk, but for some people, it's not that big of a deal, especially if it's a once a year thing, to be able to just take a piece and say, it's not going to be that painful to part with this. So yeah, it's nice to consider different ways that you can help people, whether that's just offering a big tip when you go out to eat, or leaving a nice gift for the mail person, or if you know of somebody in need, or you go find somebody in need. I know one year we had just saved every month a certain amount to set aside. It's one very rare year where finances were just fantastic for us, and so yeah, every month we just set aside a bunch that was just for charity, and by Christmas time we had a decent chunk, and we just gathered up a bunch of different charities and gave sizable donations to each of them, and sizable for us anyways. I don't know what that means to you, but it felt good, and it does feel good, so something to consider. And yeah, Garrett, I appreciate the reminder on that. Why don't we take our final break? We got some more Beer Cheese Benny on the other side.
Hey, Ryan, Beer Cheese Benny.
What's up, man?
Anyways, God, I still feel like dog crap. Zane Anderson. I forgot he existed, honestly. Like, he got that interception, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I'm watching with the in-laws. Like, the in-laws are down here, visiting from Wisconsin. And, I told my father, I'm like, who is that? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't even know. I'm like, oh, it's Zane Anderson. I'm like, I forgot that he was even a person. So that was cool.
Some
good
people
for
would
him,
tell
dude.
you he's not.
That's got to feel good for him. And it just shows you the way this team steps up, man. We don't have Evan Williams. And honestly, dude, that interception was a great read by Anderson, man.
It borderline gave me chills when you said that, because am I alone in this? When he just said people are stepping up, we got a bunch of injuries and then guys step in and it's not a problem. Do you remember the last time that was kind of a big deal? Like, we lost Preston and then we got better, and we lost, Bullard, and we lost Evan Williams, and then Zane Anderson comes in and he's playing out of his mind, and guys that are lesser known or not playing very well suddenly started playing very well. For me, that always brings me back to 2010. We had a bunch of injuries, right? Pretty devastating. And that's when guys that went on to be household names at the time were not household names. And it's like, I don't know who this guy is. I don't want to. And they were pivotal in our ability to win football games and go on to win a Super Bowl. So, I mean, it's. I just think it's a I'm not saying we're going to win a Super Bowl, but it is a characteristic of a team that is just, they're just playing right now. And that's the thing, man. It's just, we'll see. We'll see how it continues to go. But there are certain marks of a team that is just a high-quality team. And I think that they're playing like a high-quality team. And one of those is, like we've been talking about, just do what you're expected to do. Sometimes, a lot of times, I'm going to say sometimes, almost every year, the Packers are a good team. And a lot of those years, they'll go up against bad teams. Sometimes they'll lose to bad teams. Sometimes a lot of times they'll make it way too close. This year, that's not really the case. This year, it's more or less, if you're a bad team, we're going to beat the crap out of you. If you're a borderline playoff team, we're going to beat you pretty soundly. And if you're a high-quality playoff team, it's going to be a battle. And that's just consistently what it is. We're seeing offense be consistent. We're seeing defense be consistent. We're seeing special teams be consistent. Consistency is huge. We're seeing a team that refuses to drop its standard, right? Well, there's injuries. Well, excuses. And the Lions are doing the same thing, honestly. They keep having injuries and they keep coming out, and it's like, yeah, well, we're still going to beat the crap out of everybody, so I don't know what you're talking about. It's a good team.
You really got to give him some credit for that, dude. Like, when they showed on the replay, I'm like, oh my gosh, he just dropped back, and eyes on the quarterback, he knew where it was going, man. It was perfect. And, so yeah, that was cool. Also, I love our other running backs, man. Kind of wish they could get more involved normally, like, without us, blowing people out. It'd be cool to change up the looks, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And I'm sure LaFleur could do that. And hell, he even has time to put it in the game plan for that. Like, you know, like they're not going to know what to do, bro. It seems like, you know, Emmanuel Wilson, he's a guy that can really run to the outside of the tackles. You know, and Josh Jacobs can do about anything, but mostly he can run through the line and whatnot. And, you know, Chris Brooks, he's a beast, man. Like, our running backs, I can just tell they're like we have a whole running back room that is just going to freaking murder your face. They're just going to run right at you and say, come on, tackle me, mother effer. And then they're just going to freaking push you down, dude. They're going to make you earn it. And I love it, dude. Freaking love it, man. But anyways, guys, sure. I'm probably going to stop calling today because it's Christmas Eve. Going to do my Christmas Eve tradition with my wife, and I guess my in-laws are going to join in on this year. Is every Christmas Eve for the last 2 years, this will be the third year, we go to IHOP. So
hey, there you
it'll be the first time for my son, who's almost 1 year old, by the way. He'll be 1 year old on the 31st. But
nice.
yeah, so I'm going to enjoy that, and I hope you guys enjoy your traditions. And go Pack Go. Yeah,
dude. Had a good Christmas Eve. I'm trying to get as much done on Christmas Day as I can, but you got your early morning, everybody get up, do presents thing, and then we've actually, which is not a normal tradition, but my wife's parents are planning to come over today. We'll see if they end up doing that, but trying to get as much done as I can so that I can obviously tend to that. So that should be lots of fun. Hopefully they can make it. But I got to get rocking and rolling so I get this stuff done. Raider McCready.
Ryan, Raider McCready.
What's up, dude?
Man, I lost my voice with that game last night. Dang. What a game. I was there wearing my cheese head, watching the game on my phone, frying up some chicken, french fries. Having a good night with family. It was great. A little boring, but it was really nice to just not ever once at all even worry about that game.
Yeah.
I mean, first shutout in the NFL season, and Detroit hadn't even done that. And they're supposed to be good or something like that. No. But
that's what I hear.
It was great. It was great. Watching a little hurt. Hope he's all right.
I think Minnesota's supposed to be the one that has a really good defense. I don't know. Maybe they've done it or no? Okay.
We were pretty healthy. I think we are still on the right track there, but, you know, Watson's a big one. Really hope he's all right. My dude, Watson's what's up. Yeah. Go Pack Go. Let's say Go Pack Go. Go Pack Go. Nope, she's not going to do it. That was my 2-year-old. Go Pack Go, everybody.
And then we do have a Raider McCready part 2.
Hey, Raider McCready again. I forgot to say something back about the Bears game. If it doesn't mean anything, I 100% get where you're at. And to me, I guess it's just kind of one of those like preseason games. You know, like do you play people? Do you not? Is it going to make you rusty the next week in the playoffs? Is it not? I don't know. I'm just saying it would be nice to extend this record so far that nobody ever takes it. And the Bears will always be the suckiest team in the NFL. Just because of that record. I mean, they lost so many games to one team in a row and just couldn't beat that team. And it's the team that they want to beat. I mean, come on. But I do get what you're saying. Let's go. Go Pack Go.
Oh, believe me, of all the people in the world, you need to understand, I absolutely am devastated at the thought of potentially losing to the Bears, regardless of the situation. I mean, if they actually have the frickin' audacity to brag about beating the Packers without their starters because we have the playoffs locked and the Bears are frickin' eliminated, and that's assuming they even win, obviously, which I think would be a long shot. I kind of like our odds of our backups against their starters. I'm not kidding about that. I love our quarterback. We're obviously still going to have to keep some of our receivers. I mean, that's the thing. You can't pull everybody. We don't have enough human beings. So It's really just going to be kind of the superstars are out. It might be a little bit more Bo and stuff in the game, but you're going to have to put other guys out there. Defensive line, I think, is fantastic. I mean, they maybe would just take Kenny out, if for no other reason than his age and seniority and price and all that. Hopefully, he'll play well in the postseason. Rashawn would be out, but that would probably be it. Jair would not play in that game, obviously. Not that he would anyways, but that would really just be the only thing. It would be the mega stars. And when you think about who's left, like, okay, I mean, Xavier McKinney would probably come out. So you'd have Zane Anderson and I don't even know who. I don't know. I think we'd be all right. I'm not even going to lie about it. But yeah, I do want to win that game. I tell you what, why don't we call it right there? We've got 8 more calls to get through. We're getting good and caught up, but I got to get tomorrow's podcast good and recorded. So you all have a good rest of your night, what's remaining of your Christmas, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.